Domesticating AI. Teach your AI on a beach.
Sweet.
That's my favorite part.
It's your favorite part. Okay, I'm Mariah.
And I'm Matt.
And I'm Chris.
Domesticating AI is a bi-weekly podcast about practical AI for developers who want to understand what's actually happening under the hood.
We help you collar the feral open source AI landscape so you can tame it instead of getting dragged by it. That's
Sorry.
AI generated,
That's
sorry.
sorry, AI. Matt, I gave you a line. Do you want to read it just to say you
Today,
did?
we're talking about securing your home lab, not just for AI, but for anything you're running 24/7 at home.
See, there you go. Look at you.
I think my line was better than both of yours.
It was. I couldn't do it seriously.
So I got two news stories today. First one, and we'll go through these. They're like 30 seconds. Mac Mini shortages for Tom's Hardware due to AI demand. I think that's hilarious.
It is.
Yeah.
It's absolutely hilarious.
Especially with how much we've been talking about how Macs are only good for LLM inference, right? You have other stuff for other things. If you want to do stable diffusion, don't use a Mac. If you want to train models, don't use a Mac. If you want to be involved at
Yeah, but
any
this is
stage
just,
other than
you know,
just
it is
inference.
just for OpenClaw. So
I
like,
do, yeah.
okay.
Yes. I mean, I think it was, they jumped the shark when Zach Wilson is posting about how he bought one. I just thought it was like, okay, well, here's just this big LinkedIn influencer who's not in the space really that much, and he's posting about it and getting thousands of likes. And the thing that drives me crazy about that is that you don't need a Mac Mini to run OpenClaw.
No.
Nope. Not at
Literally
all.
2 days after OpenClaw went viral, Cloudflare's like, here, run it on our stuff. And then DigitalOcean said the same thing. It's like, if you want to experiment and then turn it off, why buy hardware?
Well, I mean, it's
As a
If you got
podcast,
$5.
as a podcast where we're literally like, yeah, you should have a home lab.
Yeah. Don't run it on your home lab.
The news post number 2 is actually Mr. Security Matt Sharp's LinkedIn from yesterday about OpenClaw's number one. You downloaded a plugin just straight up being malware.
yeah, that's a crazy story.
That's like it. Just check out his LinkedIn because he's Mr. Security now.
I would say if you didn't see the post, it's essentially I've been known for being Mr. Clean Code because literally for years I posted something about clean code like once a week, if not twice a week, around like, hey, this is how you write better code. This is how you can improve as an engineer or as a data scientist really quickly. And I think a lot of people appreciated it. And then it felt like people started to actually follow the advice. And so I'm like, okay, my job here is done. I won't post as
Or
much.
or your echo chamber just got bigger.
Yeah, something like that. But I mean, lots of LinkedIn influencers started essentially copying my same stuff and would get tons and tons of views. And it just kind of, people figured out, clean code is actually useful, even if you're writing, a throwaway Jupyter notebook, right?
Yeah.
And then, but now I just see it was like, we're in this space where people do not care about security. They just like,
No.
there's this new thing. Let me just go and try it out. And I get it to a certain extent. That's fine. To another extent, it's a little bit asinine, right? Just like take a second and think about the consequences of giving something like an AI access. I just saw a post. They gave access to a Claude bot, and it gave away $500,000. Someone asked their Claude bot, he's like, hey, my uncle broke his leg. Can you spare some change? Just tweet it at the bot. And the bot's like, yeah, let me do that. And then instead of giving him a couple like Bitcoin or whatever meme coin they were using.
It sounds like it gave him a couple of actual Bitcoin.
Yeah, well, it gave them, yes, exactly.
A couple of actual Bitcoin.
Yeah. 9 of them.
Yeah. Well, it was going to give like 3 of this meme coin, and it ended up giving 500, or 50,000 of the meme coin instead, which equated to about like $500,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
Incredible. Dude. I feel bad about my take on OpenClaw because I, out of curiosity, downloaded it this last weekend. And I put it on the framework, and I just wanted to see what the fuss was about. after a very lengthy setup process, I just had like my thought bubble just popped. Like when in the comic strip Calvin and Hobbes, when you see him like banging nails into the table and his mom asks like, "What are you doing?" and then he just like sits there. Like that was me for a good 10 minutes going, have you guys actually just been chatting with ChatGPT this whole time? Have you not been automating stuff? Like that's what we're freaking out about here, and it's uninstalled. I'm not going to use it, not even because of the security, but because I've already been doing so many of these things. I have a tool that my kids can actually access on our open web UI instance that orders from Domino's, and it orders their favorite pizza order if they want to, right? My wife can do that. I can do that. And I just wonder, like, what have people been using AI for the last 3 years if they haven't been automating these workflows to, like, monitor their email, do file changes? I'm just nonplussed, to be honest.
Well, that tells you what Chris has been doing for the past 3 years, guys.
Automating things, yeah.
Yes. Cool. Just quick, we're going to move on to security right now, because it's kind of fun. This is a security focused for your home lab. Just a little bit back up, like, why on earth do we care about protecting your home lab from other things? Just in general, like, we talk about home labs for AI, but that's not the only thing home labs are used for, right? Most people I know who have a home lab do it for, like, their Plex server, honestly. Like, people get a server to have Plex, and they can share it with their family. Like, there's a lot of reasons to do that. And, like, basically anything you don't want to put on your personal machine is what you put on a home lab.
Yeah.
And
or anything that you just want running
all the time, right?
Yeah.
You don't want to turn off.
Like, I do it with a PDF server. I do it with a SearchNG server. Like, I think that's pretty normal too for most people. When they get into it, they start running like, I want LibreOffice everywhere as if it were my Google Docs.
Or everybody's got a Synology NAS or a True NAS or that's a very much like the entry point, right?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I guess the thing that becomes interesting, or the problem that we're trying to talk about here that leads to, like, the security topic is access, right? The worst thing you can do is get your home lab server or your NAS server or whatever and just throw it on the public internet and be like, great, this is how I access my stuff. Security by obscurity is great until you're hacked, right? Like it is a legitimate practice, but it's not the best one.
Like, what was that post from today? My IP moat is that I have bad test coverage.
Probably, yes.
Right? Security by not doing security.
Yeah. I mean, let's just talk about what essentially we do. What do you run on your home lab, and why on earth? How do you access it?
Sure.
And why do you want other people to not access it? I think is a good place to start. For me, I run my Twitch bots on my home lab. That's it. And I only want them to connect to Discord. They connect to my AI, obviously, but I don't want external traffic coming in. I don't want people installing stuff on my machine, mining Bitcoins on my GPU machine, most of that. But it's just, I don't have anything necessarily, like, secret or safe on mine. It's mostly just, like, workload protection and efficiency. And then, like, the only thing it calls out to is Discord. And the only thing that calls into the server is my Mac.
Yeah.
Well, I think you would be surprised about what might be on there, right? So on my machine, I'm often doing work, like I'm building projects, which means at least if nothing else, I have access to Git on there.
Yeah.
And so that machine has to pull down my project somehow. And so I need to give it access to Git somehow. And so generally the main machines all have at least that. And if you just
an SSH key, pub private with your GitHub.
Right. And like you can imagine if, and I think this is going to be true for pretty much anyone with a home lab. And so, like, if you just think about that, like, when you give access to your GitHub, it's surprising how much you give access to when that happens. Like, a lot of people, I use the same profile for both, like, my work and other
and home.
things,
Yeah, no,
and
100%.
And so it's just like, oh, you just.
I do not.
I know a lot of people don't. They prefer to
How
create a
else am I
second
going to
GitHub,
get
but-
the green squares? Like, it is 100% a numbers move,
Yeah,
not a
okay.
security move, right? Like, or an IP move or anything there. I just want pretty green squares.
I understand.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can fake it, right? You can edit your own GitHub history. And like, just, I mean, I don't do this, but you could.
Anyway, but he's right. Like, it's very common to use your GitHub
You're
for
right.
public and private. And I have for a long time, 100%. That's how I deployed things to my Homelab was Git pull.
Okay. Yeah. Easy.
Yeah, I mean, I've tried both ways, but I just feel like it's just easier to do it from your, to have the same account.
Yes.
I agree with that.
And so, if nothing else, it's just like all the projects I've starred, everything, it's there. So even just that bare basics, like even if I'm giving nothing else, it's just like that's already enough that I need to be very conscious about the security on any of my systems. And so, yeah, but you might have more, right? Like these. Well, one of the things about that Claude bot that gave away 500,000 is the creator when he talked about how he lost all that money was just like, at first I set up Claude bot and it was just doing basic things, but that was boring. So then I gave it access to some money, and that's how it lost it all, because he wanted to have more fun
So-
or more interesting.
Using LLMs for adrenaline. That's something I haven't
So-
heard before.
Sure.
The funny thing, right? So something pretty common is secret files, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you deploy things to your Homelab, you might have a secret file. Like anything you set up, you have like if you're doing or file servers, you'll have your SSH keys enabled on that.
Yep.
Anything I run, I have a secrets file on there. And so that means that anything else that runs on that machine has access to my secret files.
Yeah.
I've had Twitter secrets. I've had Discord secrets. I use Supabase. I don't host my own database. But the thing I've started doing is I have a 1Password service account. And so if I don't have those permissions set up correctly, it literally has access to everything that I have a password for.
Yeah.
Right now, I do have that narrowed down to just a specific vault. So it's like principal of least permission on my workloads. But it's really easy with Homelabs to be, I'm the only one using it. And so then you come there. So like, anyway, it's just a mental thing of but
I get it. My Homelab has all sorts of stuff on it, right? I have the NAS that just has all of our media files, but then we have like Bento PDF running. I have a Langfuse
yeah.
instance. I have an OPIC instance that I use for like prompt optimization and DSPY. I have SearchNG going on there. I have a bunch of like Minecraft and Valheim servers for some of them are for like local for me and my kids. Some of them are that I use with friends. And there's all sorts of stuff in addition to Plex, in addition to Open Web UI, in addition to like the AI stuff. So like whether or not you're into LLM hosting on your own home lab, on your own hardware, right? A home lab, or at least home servers, a cluster of them, can be very helpful for you to feel enabled, like we've been saying.
I know a lot of people that run HomeKit on it, right? Like,
Yeah.
like that's how they
Home
do
Assistant, too,
Home
right?
Assistant, right? Like that's how they do their automation, right? As opposed to doing that. So great, you set up your Homelab. How do you access it? Typically, like we're going to talk about security, but like first let's talk about access, right? I said don't put it on the public internet.
Sure.
You mentioned Git. And then SSH.
Dude, you got the hat.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
and so yeah, this is what Matt wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
Full disclosure: former employee of Tailscale. We're not sponsored by them, but I
we like
have a
them a
hat.
lot.
But I like them a lot. Yeah. So access, Matt, your favorite thing ever.
So I'll be honest, because I'm a little bit more security conscious or paranoid, whatever you want to say, than I think most people. I was always afraid to make my home lab access to like the internet. So it's just like I could only access it at home, which for the most part was fine because like I worked from home, like I played from home. It was fine if I was traveling or other things like that. But then I learned about Tailscale, and that changed, if nothing else, from the educational aspect, like their documents taught me so much about how networking happens and how they secure these things, as well as just So I was able to learn a lot. I was able to understand these things that I kind of often avoided. But then like it's so simple to install. It's so easy to use. It's very friendly for people who are putting it on a home lab. It's just so dead simple. And so once you have that, it was just like, oh, okay, now I have it. Now I can, serve like individual projects. So I do this for some of the consulting I do for, it's just like, oh, I'm building you this kind of web app, and I can serve it to you on my own hardware. And, sure, it's like only 5 people are going to hit it, but that like I don't need to worry so much. And, I don't need to have to
Hopefully
spend
they're
so
not
much.
all hitting it at the same time, right?
Even at that, it's not the worst.
Yeah, it's not the worst, right? And so it's just like, oh, like it's like my own personal dev environment when they actually like it and they want to deploy it. Yeah, I can go and put it on the cloud and they can start paying for that. But like I can give them that kind of, valued experience from the beginning. Plus like Tailscale, it has this thing called exit nodes.
Yeah.
And so
Which is essentially mirroring what people think of when you hear VPNs, right? So I was going to step back. So Tailscale is a zero trust policy maintenance VPN server. There's other kinds of VPN. There's basically 2 ideas when it comes to security. The first one is you build a moat around your stuff and you don't let anything in. Typically, everybody's Wi-Fi router or internet router that they have that plugs into their internet provider comes with that built in. That's why you can access any machine on a local IP, is you have that router built into, like you have that perimeter built into your router. People can still come in externally because every IP provider gives you a public thing that they just don't like. Essentially, that the router is protecting against, and that's how you can get traffic externally. But that's also how Matt could be like, I only accessed it at home because his router provided that gateway to stop anything from hitting it if he didn't manually go and say, I want this IP that I'm going to host something to the public. What Tailscale does is they do zero trust. So instead of putting a perimeter around it, they said, we're just going to monitor all traffic, and if it's not approved traffic, you do not get access. And so that's essentially saying we're not creating a moat where everything's allowed. It's saying we're going to the access specifically. So traditional VPNs, like when you're saying I'm traveling to Germany, but I want to act like I'm in the US, those VPNs just forward an IP address to somewhere else. And what Tailscale's exit nodes do via zero trust is saying, I'm going to, instead of forward to some random IP, I'm going to only forward to my specific IP on my hosted machine. That's their exit node. It's not traditional VPNs, but how the common install on your phone VPNs work. Yep. But they only allow access through the machines that you have on your tailnet, and you've given that zero trust access to your machine. So, but Matt's got a really great exit node story that I think is really important to understand why they're cool.
For those who don't know, my wife is Chinese. And so about every 2 years for our entire marriage, we've gone back to China to visit family. And every single time I've gone, I will literally buy 3 to 4 VPN services, for the month or so that we're there, just so that way I can have some semblance of normal internet. Because if you've never been to China, you don't know, like everything is blocked there. Like Google's blocked, like almost everything. And so I often joke around because people wonder, because like I have an Outlook email because Gmail doesn't work in China. And I've been to China enough times that like I don't want to be locked out of anything I'm doing. And so anyway, so I try all these VPNs and some of them work, most of them don't. Some of them work only intermittently, and it's never been like an amazing experience. But this last time I went to China, I had set up my own Raspberry Pi. I set it up as an exit node on Tailscale, and everything was flawless. It just worked so well of saying, oh, hey, like I'm getting internet as if I was still at home. And it really changed the game as far as my travel experience, being able to go there and to be able to have that access. And so anyways, it was great.
It works through the Great Firewall of China is essentially the point here. Like, if you want to know why that happens, just read Tailscale blogs. That's really cool. I know that Chris, you can code on your iPad over Tailscale.
I'm doing it right now, right?
I
have over Tailscale. I am serving open code serve on one of my boxes, and I'm using tmux to make sure that I can access what it's doing regardless of the device. Like I can close it and
Yeah.
it doesn't send the kill signal, right? So that's what's happening. I have open code serve serving over Tailscale. I'm SSH'd into another box that is consuming that open code serve and using tmux to just keep it persistent. I've had this running since Sunday, and I'm just monitoring it at this point. And I really like it, especially like this is an iPad. This is not a device that has an IDE or that you use coding tools on. They don't have anything in the
No.
App Store for that type of thing. And so this allows you to you can run a VS Code server. You can run pretty much. I'm a big fan of Zed now, specifically for this, right? Remote development on machines like my phone or my iPad that aren't made for a good programming dev experience.
And then Tailscale, they just released, you sent the news article about this week. They
LM
announced
Studio, yeah.
LM Studio. So essentially the point of that is if you were to host an LM Studio on your cloud server or on whatever, you can use Tailscale essentially as the proxy to access that so that you can have an internal to your company or an internal to your Homelab LM Studio instance that you have secured access to, and you manage who gets access to that. Typical security things like Linux servers have ACLs, which is how they've always it's called an access control levels or layers. I don't know. That's how they manage role-based access. That's built into Tailscale. So like essentially you install that on your Homelab. You determine what machines can access who, what users can access what. It's just really easy. I don't know.
For the front end devs that are listening, right? Tailscale essentially gives you the functionality of ngrok, except it's not public.
Yeah.
It's just whoever is also on your tailnet.
100%. And you can get the same thing with OpenVPN. You can get
Or
the same
WireGuard,
thing
yeah.
with WireGuard. I mean, it runs on WireGuard.
Okay, yeah.
Yes, Tailscale runs on WireGuard Go. I have the ability to set up WireGuard through my Ubiquity, but Tailscale I already had set up, and it was super easy. So it's just, I don't know. I think it's the easiest way to do zero trust on your Homelab so that you're not using public access and nobody else gets it. And also like share it with whoever you want.
Yeah.
Like I know a lot of people that it's like, okay, great, I can set my parents up with Tailscale on their Apple TV. They get access to my Plex server or set them up with an exit node when you travel. They can watch Hulu and whatever, and you're done. Like it's super easy. I don't know. Do any last words on why you
Again,
should just
we
use...
are not sponsored by Tailscale. We just really like them.
We just all happened to independently choose the same tech stack
That's right,
to
yeah.
secure our Homelabs.
Yeah. Well, I think that last point you said, I think a lot of people have that problem where it's just like, hey, you have Netflix or Hulu and you want your brother in Indianapolis to like have access to it and not worry about, like it would see
the
the
home
exit
thing.
ned.
I am not in your house.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like you can get around that with something like Tailscale and exit nodes and giving
Because you
access.
are in their house.
Oh, I literally
Exactly.
talked to somebody that set that up for his parents like last week.
Right, and that's
so
actually why I
awesome.
was thinking about it.
Yeah, like you're in the same house. Let's talk about just a couple of things that common mistakes when people want to secure their Homelab. One is putting anything on the public internet as how you access
Yep.
your thing, right? Let's use public DNS to come up there. I want to access something from my phone, so let's throw it on public DNS from my server, and then like anybody can access it.
I think the big one is logins. Like beyond just public internet, just like if you have an air-gapped server running OpenClaw, and then you give it your SSH keys for your GitHub,
yeah,
you
then
give it your Google login, right? Well, it's not air-gapped anymore. You kind of just defeated the purpose.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I mean, this is probably the other big problem. Like, beyond the fact that Mac Minis are expensive compared to other ways to run OpenClaw, it's the fact that you're not, like, securing it by running it on its own Mac Mini, which I think that's what people are thinking. Like, you could have done the same thing with a Docker container. The point is that, like...
Some people are running it in a Docker container on the Mac Mini. In fact, yeah.
Right, so like they're trying to double encase it, but the point is like once you give that OpenClaw access to things, it's no longer contained, and so just understanding that you need to protect these things like keys and passwords.
Well, it's back to principle of least privilege, right?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Right, and like the reason we use Tailscale is the zero trust model. It's like we have to explicitly allow you to do something instead of trying to come back and say, oh, you have all of these permissions. Let's try and limit what you can do, right? Like I think when you do principle of least privilege, it's like, okay, what is the minimum thing you need to do in order to be able to accomplish this small task? Which is exactly the opposite approach I've seen with OpenClaw, or like which is more like we'll just tell you to not do it. Just tell you.
Yeah.
Just say the words.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, it doesn't have to be like OpenClaw is easy to pick on because the agent itself is self-compromising, but it could be just like the Plex server that you gave too much access to, and any compromising, bad actor gets access to that Plex server. They now have access to all of the same information.
So, like, I have this is a great story about how I did the same thing. My Twitch bot, it runs on Tailscale, but it connects to Twitch. And it had too many permissions, so it was a mod. It could make commands in my Nightbot. It could ban people. It could do anything. So we could just prompt engineer how to give it permissions, right? So like my permissioning model was broken and the agent did whatever it wanted.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing. I think agents are just software. You have to treat them the same. There's like people. You wouldn't let your kid can order Domino's, but that's like the only thing they're doing. They're not going into.
I get a notification when
to approve.
That tool runs to approve it. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm saying
they can click on it whenever they want, but they're not getting it until I click.
But you're not saying, okay, kid, here's my Plex server. I hope you don't hit the wrong button.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. I hope you didn't select delete because I have the ability to delete files on.
Yeah, right. Like it's I don't know. I just normal security kinds of things. Cool. If you were starting today, and you had $0, and you needed to not $0. Let's put it less than $100. You needed to set up a Homelab and secure it. And let's put $300 since a Raspberry Pi is $150.
Oh, okay.
Right? Yeah, right. You had $300. Sure. What would you do to start your Homelab, secure your Homelab, and then make sure that the only person accessing it is your one computer? So, I think we've already said that, but
I think this is actually really similar to how I actually started my Homelab. So this is fantastic. I had I think $150 of disposable income. I went to a tech surplus sale of a university close to my house. Mm-hmm. I got a Dell Optiplex that I opened it up and saw that it had a GPU in it. I didn't even check what it was. Upon bringing it home, I find out it's an old AMD that has 1 gigabyte of VRAM. Doesn't matter. That's what I used. So I had that, and I had a Raspberry Pi NAS that literally had a USB-C to 2 terabytes, just like one of those portable Samsungs. All of that cost, when I bought it, about $125 because that's all that I had. Mm-hmm. And I set up the Optiplex with just a headless server, Ubuntu, and I set up the Raspberry Pi with just Raspbian, and I used Tailscale to just have those 2 devices on my Tailnet. They don't even have access to the public internet. No. It's just Tailscale. And that was it. It wasn't bad. I'm saying a lot of words that can sound technically intimidating. It wasn't bad at all.
No.
This is while I was studying linguistics.
In my opinion, the hardest part he had right there was flashing Raspbian onto the Raspberry Pi.
Which Ventoy?
Watch a YouTube video.
Yeah.
Matt, $300. What are you doing? I mean, we're obviously all choosing Tailscale, but
yeah, I'm buying a NVIDIA TGX Spark.
For
4,000.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm thinking the same thing of how I got started, but how I got started was, okay, I'm taking an old laptop, and I mean, it was before I learned about Tailscale, but it was kind of the same thing. I was just taking an old laptop, I was setting it up, figuring out, flashing it with Linux distro, a Linux server distro, because that made the most sense to me. I already knew about Linux, and then I'm going on and I'm getting a couple basic, turning it into a NAS essentially. It already has built-in memory and everything, and then just kind of going from there. So
It's on Twitch. You can stream it on Twitch. But yeah, that's pretty much it. You can follow us on Spotify or YouTube, like or subscribe. If you want to sponsor, just our email's in the bottom. And most important thing you should do is to keep your AI on a leash. There we go. Isn't that good?
That was fantastic.
Okay.